you doing today, Coach? Why don't we
I'm
start off
doing
with
excellent. I'm doing excellent. Thank
Uh-huh.
you guys for inviting me. I'm excited, nervous.
that?
Definitely
Nervous,
more,
good. What are you
definitely more
nervous for?
excited because man, I'm surrounded by greatness. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Tusky world greatness. But no, definitely excited to be here. Definitely
All
to
right.
be able to be here and do an in-person meeting.
Mhm.
That means that we're back together again. So yes, really excited.
Mhm. So we were just kind of talking about. We were just in the aux gym getting all set up before we got into your office here. Because there were some connectivity issues. But you were telling me about this basketball here and why you kept it flat. You know, I was gonna maybe put up some shots while we were waiting, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So why don't you tell us about that?
So when I was coming up, story I was telling when I was coming up, when I was in high school, my high school coach, tryouts. We had tryouts. Our tryouts were about 5 days, but we never used the basketball until the last day. And then when we did use the basketball the last day, it was a flat basketball. He was instilling his offense, the system, if you will, and obviously you can't dribble a flat basketball. So
Right.
it taught us to strengthen our cuts, understand spacing, and it required us to be a little more fundamental and not have to rely on the dribble. As you see a lot of basketball nowadays, a lot of people love to rely on the dribble. It just grounded us with a lot of good fundamentals, how to move without the basketball, things of that nature. So. Yeah, so I always keep a flat basketball under my desk in remembrance of my high school coach.
That's nice there. And where exactly did your kind of love for basketball start? Because, when I think Coach Newkirk, mind automatically jumps, UNC, Career Center, and then, of course, basketball, right?
Yes.
So how did you start getting into that?
I've been playing basketball as long as I can remember. Played sports, but definitely started basketball first. Dabbled in football from North Carolina, from southeast North Carolina, and they have some dog days in the summer where it gets really hot and muggy. So football kind of got put on the back burner. I went into the air-conditioned gym.
Right.
I'll say that separation kind of came about 7th, 8th grade. But like I said, been playing basketball as long as I can remember. I'm from North Carolina, heavily rooted in, easily one of the better areas for basketball, grassroots basketball.
Right.
Not too far from the GOAT, Michael Jordan,
Sure,
where
Zach
he
has
played.
some thoughts about that.
Where he played his home basketball. So surrounded by a lot of basketball heavy, just legacy. So I was exposed to basketball at a really good time.
Gotcha.
So did you play any basketball in college or?
So, kind of. So I played. I went to University of North Carolina Chapel Hill. Played JV basketball. JV basketball is obviously not the basketball that you see on TV. However, I did play. It's like kind of almost like intramural. You guys get there as club sport. You have club sports at the university level, and I did that for 2 years. And then that experience kind of propelled me into the coaching side. Kind of here we are today. So I did play in college, but it was not at the highest level. However, I did have a great experience with it.
That's cool. Where'd you first start coaching?
First started coaching, so my junior year, I played 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year. Junior year, what happens is you play JV, and then you have an opportunity to be a coach on the JV team, or obviously you can try out for varsity, what you see on TV. It wasn't that good to do that. So I started tickling my fancy into coaching there, and was an assistant on that JV staff, and it was awesome. It was fun, and then so moved off campus my junior year, and I started coaching at the YMCA, and that was really like my first coaching job. And oh my gosh, I'm about to date my age now. I think that was probably like 2001, 2002, had a blast with them. I coached. I think my first team that I coached were 8-year-olds. I think we lost one game that my first coaching season, so I felt like I was decent at it. And 20 years later, here we are. Yeah.
It's good there. So on that topic of coaching, I know that you've kind of dabbled into some other sports with coaching as well. For example, like I've got a friend on the girls lacrosse team who was talking about how you were there her freshman year.
Yes.
So outside of basketball, if you had to choose a sport to coach, what do you think you would be going with there?
So naturally, I think the sport I love second would be definitely football.
Okay.
A lot of intricacies within football. Obviously, I don't know. I would love to dabble in it a little bit, maybe. However, speaking to what you just mentioned, I did coach lacrosse. I'm currently the boys basketball coach. I started the program under the girls. And girls basketball and girls lacrosse have a lot of similarities, especially the offensive side. And honestly, how you defend as well. Being no contact, a lot of the same jargon terminology. You can get 3 seconds in in basketball. You can get 3 seconds in the fan in girls lacrosse. Some of the offensive movements and formation, the X's and O's worked, kind of carried over to girls lacrosse. So it was kind of natural. It was fun. So, I love girls lacrosse. I would definitely say probably move into the football and or tennis. I like tennis as well.
Tennis, good.
Love tennis.
What experience do you have with tennis there?
I played 1 year of tennis in high school. So I was all basketball, and then after basketball season, tennis is a spring sport. After basketball, wanted to do something, just wanted to finish out my senior year, and I played tennis. And I got up to, and I'm from, again, rural North Carolina, probably about 600 students my whole high school, but I got up to, as high as third rank on my team. Yeah,
that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got some kids on the basketball team right now that have dabbled in
tennis.
a little
Yes,
bit.
two of my
Kurt.
guys.
Gavin
yes.
and Kurt.
Gavin and Kurt, yes, it correlates. It definitely does. The crazy thing with tennis was I was fast enough. You know what I mean? I just couldn't make the shots, so I could get to the ball, but my backhand was suspect. I could get to the ball, but my forehand was suspect. That sort of thing. So I always found myself volleying.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Go ahead and get the point over quick. Right?
Yeah. So I know you started with the girls basketball team. So what made you decide to switch to the boys side?
That is the root of that question. I've been asked that question before. The root of that question is, had a unique opportunity to be a charter member to start Tuscarora High School, meaning, I was here from the very beginning and coached girls basketball. We were able to get a group of girls to represent Tuscarora before our building. We had access to our gym. So from that point on, started developing and establishing the love for Tuscarora, the Tuscarora community, and it is something, quite frankly, that I really, really, truly, dearly love. I love everything about Tuscarora. I love the school community. Obviously, the students are outstanding, staff, colleagues, and obviously extending into our direct and immediate community here, the Lucas area, Balls Bluff, Exeter, everything's close to us where our students attend. And so everything that I do for the Tuscarora school community, and, anything that I can do. Had a really good run with the girls. And I felt like I had brought that program to a place where, maybe they just need a different voice, a different focus to get over some of the hurdles that we kind of faced. And the timing happened. I felt like I was kind of come to that point on the girls' side, and the opportunity persists itself on the boys' side. And like I said earlier, it was natural. I love everything Tuscarora. I love the athletes, and I love seeing the athletes reach success bars and milestones. So do anything to make sure that could happen. So yes, coming over to the boys' side was rewarding. It was a little bittersweet, not gonna lie, because I did start the girls program. But at the end of the day, me being able to just switch sides, being girls or boys at the same institution, I was still able to be showered with that love, that care for the Tuscarora community, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah.
So being one of those charter members of the Tuscarora community, you've got a really unique experience when it comes to just the school system in general. You've seen it start from the beginning and pretty much seen a whole new high school just open, right, and become its own thing. So in your, it's around 12 years right? 11?
11, yeah,
11?
11,
Yeah.
12.
So in your 11 years here, how have you kind of seen the culture of Tuscarora change, if at all?
So that was one of the fun things. So it was fun because the first year we opened, obviously we didn't have seniors.
Mhm.
You guys know the seniors are the live bunch, or they're a lot of times the spirit of the school because
Right.
they have the most comfortability level there and things of that nature. But we didn't have seniors. We had juniors, freshmen, and sophomores, and the juniors did 2 years at other schools.
Mhm.
So they were kind of not all balled in. Sophomores did 1 year at other schools, and freshmen were okay. Freshmen were freshmen. All they knew was Tuscarora. And it was funny because we had this beautiful school with I think we opened about 900, almost right there at 1,000 students, and nothing was on the walls. You go into the gym now. There was no excellence in athletics. There's no banners, and the unique opportunity being a charter staff, you get to see the personality of the building of the school come alive, and that's the part that I was sold on. That's why 3 years ago to make the switch from girls to boys was so easy. The genuine love for Tuscarora community because you saw what we grew into.
Mhm.
And it was outstanding. You go from all of our athletic events to the support that you see in our fine arts, to the outstanding students that Tuscarora High School produces year in, year out, that compete academically all across the globe. And that's special. That I don't think every school community can say that they can fulfill and check all those boxes. And uniquely got to see Tuscarora High School grow into just that. Got to see the course selection from about 40 classes the first year to now we have hundreds of classes that we offer. To see the course catalog grow and be expansive, and to see the students have the opportunity to grow their academics in that capacity, that's great. I've seen clubs from 4 or 5 clubs the first year to now we have over 100 clubs. Essentially a club for anything that you want to get accomplished. So being a part of that evolution and it has been rewarding because you saw it coming, but you're like, all right, what is it going to be? And it has been something that I'm very, very proud of to be a part of. A lot of genuine, students. The community is really genuine. That's something you can really appreciate. Yep.
So talking about sending off kids post high school and seeing where all these Tuscarora alumni are headed off in their own direction, taking on different challenges in their adulthood. I'm looking around your room, every one of these banners is a person that's probably gone through your career center, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, at the career center, what has been your favorite thing about your work with the college admissions process?
So love it all. Definitely love it all. One of my favorite times of the year. I have a couple moments throughout the year that's really favorite. My favorite time of year is May, right? May, June, right? That way we kind of start spotlighting our seniors. And the beautiful thing about that is it's a culmination of so many ways, 13 years of work, and you start to see seniors starting to get to that. It's the next plateau. We always talk about elementary to middle. That's a big transition, right? And then middle to high school, great transition. But high school to post-secondary is a momentous transition. And it also is a celebration time, but it signifies a culmination of 13 years hard work, including your kindergarten year. It's a very important kindergarten year, too. But with that being said, to see students be able to say, they're going to this college situation, knowing that them getting admitted to that college just didn't start then. It didn't start your senior year. It didn't start your junior year. In so many ways, it started in kindergarten. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously talk about GPAs and test scores and stuff. And yes, that starts, middle school and high school years. But formulation, the building of that person, that brand, I think starts early. And senior year, obviously, you're going to college, you're getting scholarships, and to see students get that, to see students be able to go to their dream school or get their dream job, just to be a part of that is outstanding. So favorite time of the year is May 1. We do a college decision day, and that's kind of when you start seeing students kind of, get into their post-secondary situations. And then, man, I love graduation. I just head over heels for graduation. Just see you guys' excitement. Last year's graduation was definitely a little more heartfelt because obviously we're coming off coronavirus. We're in the middle of coronavirus and things of that nature. But graduation is an outstanding time because, again, you just get to celebrate the achievements. And those achievements have not been, there's a long time coming, from that standpoint. So, end of the year.
Gotcha. End of the year, yeah.
Yes.
I'm kind of
With
entering
seniors.
that whole phase as
Yeah.
well. So, I'm excited to see that as well. Zach, were you?
Yeah, got another year ahead of me, so
Yep.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know you have 2 kids. Do you plan on coaching them here?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, my plan is, from a parent standpoint, is to introduce them to everything, and if they take hold of it, take hold of it. My wife kind of keeps me balanced, but not being too hard and too much of a critic if they don't pick that round basketball up. However, fortunately, both of my kids have a love for it. You guys see them; they come to the gym with me. They're dribbling the basketball upstairs to the point where my wife is like, take them outside and all that good jazz. So, hopefully, if things bode right, they can. I would love to coach my son at the high school level. But we'll see.
You haven't working on those defensive principles yet, or?
Absolutely. I've worked on a better job of not trying to, overwhelm them with things and not trying to push it down their throat, if you will. And they've done a really good job of digesting it, and they have to the point where they have a genuine love for the game.
That's good.
They have a genuine love for athletics. They have a genuine love for basketball. So that's all I.
All right. Well, kind of going back into your childhood a little bit, when you were around their age, you talked about sending off other people into their careers. When you were around, our age in high school, what, if anything, what were you thinking about doing? I know you said you pursued higher education at University of North Carolina, but I don't know what I want to do. So I want to.
And it's okay. It's okay. I talked to a lot of students. We're in an area where you have such a huge influence on being prepared, planning. First off, I'm just a firm believer that, you don't truly find your true identity 18 to 24. And a lot of things happen between 18 and 24. Obviously we're talking about get exposed to college. You go meet some lifelong friends there. A lot of people invest so much in high school, and you look up 20 years after high school and you barely talk to a lot of people that you're going to interact with day to day here. But, you're going to go meet some people between 18 and 24 that you're going to have long life commitments and relationships with. Those are the people that you're going to invite to your weddings and your baby christening and things of that nature. So that's where I feel like people get there, start to truly develop and evolve as a person. But it's obviously good habits to plan. So while you're in high school, yes, we tell you to plan and do things of that nature. When I was a kid, you guys, I was talking to a group of students the other day. I wanted to be a podiatrist, believe it or not, a podiatrist, a foot doctor, right? It was crazy. Like literally up until I went to, up to about Christmas time, my senior year in high school, I wanted to be a podiatrist. Like everything that I wanted to do, I just wanted to be a podiatrist. And I was given the example, when I was doing job research and career outlook, we didn't have Naviance. We didn't have a lot of computer programs. We had a job outlet book that was about this thick. It essentially had every career you kind of think of. It would essentially have a page. It would tell you, where you could get the credentials at, what colleges had this field, and obviously it had the salary, right, the earnings. And at that time, I just can't get out of my mind. And this is like early 90s, but the podiatrist made like $80,000, right? Now, obviously, you're going through 8-9 years of school to obtain that, but it was just something that stuck with me. That quickly changed once I got to college. Definitely not a medical person. There's a lot of things, that was just a perception that I had that I wanted to go do. But once I got out of high school and was able to go to college and start taking classes or just understand the field of the medical field, I understood it wasn't something for me. And then, I found my identity. I started, working. One of my work-study jobs was with the Keenan Flagler Business School, and they ran an after-school program with students from Durham, school-age kids, where we kind of put them in a program for about 4 hours after school. And
Sorry, hate to interrupt. What is Durham?
Durham Scholars Program. Well, Durham is I went to college in Chapel Hill. Durham is a city, town, a little jurisdiction,
Okay.
8 miles up the street,
Gotcha.
where infamously Duke University resides.
Uh-huh.
So we bus kids from Durham to Chapel Hill, and we ran them in a program. And that was my first experience with kids, youth. And from there, kind of developed a little passion. And then that opportunity built onto another after-school opportunity. And, once I graduated, kind of changed my focus over to education.
Mm-hmm.
And once I graduated, I started working at an elementary school right there in Chapel Hill. And the rest is kind of history,
Mm-hmm.
from what brought me to education. But definitely did not start out in the educational route. So, any young listeners, planning is great, but it's okay if you don't exactly know what you want to do when you walk across the stage.
Right.
However, you need to have an idea. You need to have an idea of where my next step is. However, there's a lot of things that can influence your decision going forward. So, but yeah, man, that's kind of
That's great advice right there.
yeah, that's kind of what I was doing before.
Just to finish this off here, we've gone into a little bit of some personal issues, some stuff in your past, but I'll give you a real softball for this last one.
What's up?
Why do you love UNC so much, Coach? You brought it up multiple times here, and just knowing you, first question you ever asked me was, what's the best college basketball program in the United States?
The cool thing about that, Will, is it's a lot of pride. When you get to that next level, we talk about college, anywhere. Anyway, I'm just fortunate to go to a school as storied as University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Mm.
But any university, you go in, like I mentioned earlier, there were so many experiences that I had from 18 to 22, 23 that are life just impactful, that help me make decisions now. So I have a lifelong love of that.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the settings that I was in during those years. And again, you guys will find out that once you get to that college level, you're going to have an affinity, just an abundance of love for your alma mater. And then, there's no other school. UNC means University of National Champions. That's just what we do. Right.
All right. Sounds good, Coach. I think that just about wraps it up there. So thank you for coming on today, taking the time out of your day to come on the Tusky Talk.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate
Me
it.
and Zach.
Appreciate you
And good luck on the season.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And thanks for all you guys are doing to make our school community even more dynamic. The fact that we have students doing such a thing, guys, I think is outstanding. So.